Hi friends, Cole Chance here. Thank you so much for joining me. And I wanted to offer you a beginner's flow today and using some blocks. So if you don't have blocks, you can completely still do this practice. You don't have to use them, but I wanted to give some options, and I love using props. So I thought that I should explain to you all how to use them so you also learn to love using props. Let's go ahead and start lying on our back. We'll start in a supported bridge, just to kind of get going here. So take the block, we'll lay down on the back, push down into the heels to lift the hips up, and we'll set the block right on the sacrum. So you don't want it on the low back. Let's see how my back is kind of arching down here. The sacrum is this kind of a small, kind of like an oval plate right here, right above the tailbone. So that's where we want to slide it. And you'll feel it feels quite stable. So find that spot and we'll rest it right there. There's different levels on the block. I wouldn't come up on the high level, but I would use either the lowest level or the medium level. So you can play with both of them and see what feels good. This is one of my favorite poses. It's also an inversion. Let's let the hands come up towards the sky. The palms face up towards the sky. Just getting a little bit of a opening here. Let's bring the feet wide. Let the knees knock into each other. And just start to breathe. Or better, we're already breathing. Start to be aware of your breath. Start to intentionally breathe. Ignite your inhales and your exhales with intention. Once more. Beautiful. Bring the knees back to center, heels in. Start to lift the hips up. We're going to remove the block. Bring the hips back down to the floor and the knees into the chest. Wrap the arms around and just sway side to side here. So we'll move slow today, and let's try to stay tethered to our breath. So we're just kind of decorating our breath with some movements here. Let's think of it that way. All right, let's roll all the way over to your left or right side. It doesn't matter. We'll just take a round of breath here. In fetal position, inhale. Exhale. Plant your top arm. You're going to push yourself up to seated. And let's take a tabletop position. Place the blocks at the top of the mat. And we'll come back to them. Let's just take some cat-cows real right quick here. So moving, the belly comes down. We're arching the back. Belly comes down. The hips come up. The shoulder blades come onto the back. It helps the chest to pull through. Gaze up. Cat pose. Cow pose, sorry. Exhale, begin to push the ground away. So reversing chin to chest. Belly comes in to spine. Spine to sky. Drop the tail down. Cat. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, push the ground away, rounding everything in. Once more. Articulating the spine, finding any places of restriction. Beautiful. Coming to center. Let's place the hands on the blocks here. Just gonna take up the whole space. We'll lean forward just a little bit to tuck the toes. Begin to lift the knees up. Push away at the blocks. Downward facing dog. Knees can be as bent as you like here. And actually we'll just start sashaying side to side, stepping in place. And begin to walk the feet up towards the top of the mat. So forward fold. The blocks can come up, whatever feels most supportive to you. So explore the different sides of the block and see what is the most supportive to you. We're just wanting to bring the earth up. Inhale, halfway lift. We'll start to extend the spine. So a really long line from the crown of the head to the tail. And I have a little bit of an arch in the back, a little bit of that cobra. Be sure that you have the knees bent at least a little bit. And you can think about sending the tailbone up towards the sky. Pull the belly in, lots of little things here. Exhale, fold forward. Let it pour out the top of the skull. Breathing here. Again, inhale, halfway lift, belly in, really long from tail to crown. Don't crank the neck back and look forward at me. Just listen to my voice. You want to kind of gaze down so we have, just the natural curve in the back of the neck. And then exhale, release, pour out the crown of the head. Beautiful. Let's take a bend, separate the feet just a little bit. Take a big bend in the right foot. Press down with the right hand as we open up to the left. Beautiful. Pull the belly in. With the left hand, as if there's an invisible wall right here, we're going to push into the wall and it'll help to spin us forward. Another big inhale. Exhale. Release the left hand, forward fold. Let's try that on the other side. Bend in the left leg, press down with the left hand as we spin open to the right. Watch the left shoulder that it doesn't come in, that we want to keep space between the ear and the neck, roll the shoulder blade back. You can think about opening a jar to the left with your left hand. That'll help to externally rotate. With the right hand, push into the wall, spinning open at the belly. One more. And release down. Good. Let's roll all the way up. So slowly rolling up into standing position. So let's take mountain pose. Pick up the toes, spread them wide, and then lay them back down, really feeling the ground. Stepping into the ground, pushing the ground away. We'll lift the kneecaps up, pull the pelvic floor up. So we're kind of like zipping up right here. The pelvic floor, the belly, and the ribs, everything comes up. Broad from shoulder to shoulder. Palms facing forward. And as if someone could come up and pull up on your ears a little bit, find a little extra space. Good. Inhale, both arms come up. So I'm not only reaching through the fingertips, because you can see here how I'm not leaving any space for my neck. So I'm reaching up, but I'm leaving space. So I'm connecting the shoulders back into the sockets here. A slight internal rotation at the legs. Bring the palms together, bend the knees, and we'll fold forward. Plant the hands on the blocks. Inhale, halfway lift like we were doing, a little bit of cobra here. And exhale, let's step back with the right foot. Big step back. Drop the right knee down. If you want a pillow or a blanket under the knee, you can just kind of place it across. It'll be helpful. Inhale, we'll gaze forward. Scissor the thighs just a little bit so that we're pulling back on the left hip, pulling forward on the right hip. Pull in on the belly and we'll begin to lift the hands. Inhale, lift up. Gaze up. Again, not reaching through the fingertips, reaching more through the crown of the head as you pull the shoulders back into the socket. So everything has integrity, everything has a solid structure here. One more inhale. Exhale, let's plant the hands. Beautiful. Pick up the back heel, pick up the back knee. Bring the left heel into the glute as we step back, plank pose. Beautiful. Bring the knees to the ground. On an exhale, we're going to come all the way down onto the ground. Bring the chest down onto the ground. Beautiful. You can leave the hands on the blocks here, so give a little bit more opening even in the shoulders. Press the toes into the ground, pubic bone into the ground. Inhale, we'll slowly peel the chest up. Not a lot of weight in the hands here. The elbows, a common thing that we do is we kind of wing the elbows out. We want to keep those in and the shoulders down. So that's kind of the structure the architecture that we're keeping in line here. Again, don't wing the head up. We're reaching out through the heart and the gaze is coming down. Nice. Release down. Let's do that twice more with breath. Inhale. Press down through the pubic bone and the feet as you lift up, low cobra. Ignite the back chain of the body. Exhale, release down. Once more. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Push the ground away. We'll come in to child's pose. Bring the hands down by the side, grabbing onto the heels. Let the shoulders roll over the knees. Breathing here. Always coming back to breath. At any point, child's pose is like home base. Any point that you're feeling that the breath is getting away from you, or the movements are becoming a little too much, or you're just feeling a little flustered, or you just need a moment. Honor that. Come into child's pose and come back home. Come back home to your breath. Begin to reach the arms out. Peel the chest up, hips up. You can take the hands back to the block here. Tuck the toes, and we'll push back into a downward facing dog. So we won't stay here long. We won't focus too much on downward dog today, but what we do want to focus on is just a big extension from the fingers all the way to the hips, a little bend in the knees and the hips come up. Full body stretch. Shoulders are plugged into the shoulder blades. Gaze forward, and we'll step the feet up. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, bow forward. Bring the chin into the chest. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms come wide as if you're pulling everything in together, hands touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's bring them down to the side, close the eyes again, come into mountain pose. Slight internal rotation, lift up the kneecaps. So we're just coming back to center here. Open the eyes. Inhale, lift up, reaching out through the fingers and the crown of the head, but pulling shoulders back. And exhale, hands through heart center as we bend the knees, bow forward. Plant the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, finding length from tail to crown. Exhale, plant the hands. We'll take a big step back with the right leg. Let the knee come down. So we'll start to scissor the thighs, pulling left hip back, right hip forward. You can also think about pulling the left heel towards the right knee. Plant the right hand down into the block. Left hand, left heart opens up. With the left hand, you can push into an invisible wall. Rotate the chest open. Notice that this right shoulder wants to come in. So open it up. You can think about opening the jar to the right side this time with the hand opening up. Beautiful. One more inhale here. Exhale, plant the hand. Pick up the back knee. We'll step back, plank pose. Come down onto both knees. We'll bring the chest all the way down, chest, belly. Untuck the toes. The elbows are coming in by the side body. Inhale, push the toes, the pubic bone down into the ground. Lift halfway up, igniting the back chain of the body. Exhale, fold twice more like that. Inhale, lift up, low cobra. Make sure that you're gazing towards the ground, not out in front. Exhale. Once more, inhale up. Exhale. Let's push back to child's pose. This time, leave the arms long. So maybe on the block here. You can even come up onto the fingertips. Good, coming forward, tucking the toes, come into downward facing dog. Shoulder blades plug into the back. So you're plugging in at the shoulders, at the same time you're pushing away through the hands. Pull the belly in, slight bend in the knees, hips up towards the sky. Downward dog, full body activation here. Gaze towards the hands. We'll start to step up to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, pour forward. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's keep moving. Inhale up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's step back with the left foot. Plant the left knee down. We'll start to step the right, kind of wiggle the right foot forward just a little bit, send the hips back. Bring the blocks down by the sides and bring them on their highest setting here. So you might have them a little bit farther back, you might have them a little bit farther forward, just kind of depends on your length. Mine's kind of in line with my knee here. Pull the toes back on the right foot. You can have the knee bent a little bit, and regardless, everyone bend the knee a little bit. Pull back on the hip socket now. And then if you'd like to straighten a little bit, you can. Not a big deal either way. So instead of folding forward a lot here, that kind of starts to round my back, I'm going to stick my bum out, send the tailbone up towards the sky, and that alone really creates a stretch. You should definitely be feeling that. Be sure that the toes are flexed. Watch the shoulders coming up. We want to be pushing them down and back. Natural curve in the spine, pulling the chest forward. Breathing here. One more big inhale. Good. Kind of pull the front heel back just a little bit. Bring the back knee up. Plant the left hand on the left block, and we'll take twists now with the back knee up. Inhale, open up, hands towards the sky. Hand towards the sky. Pulling back on the right hip. Watching the left shoulder that wants to come in, I'm opening up, opening that jar to the left. Spinning the chest open. One more inhale. Exhale, plant the hand on the block. Okay, so coming into triangle pose here, I'm going to spin the left heel down. I'm going to straighten the front leg and make this block as high as I need it. Pressing the hand down into the block. Checking that the shoulder's coming back. Left arm coming up towards the sky. So I want to spin the torso open. So externally rotate the torso. A slight internal rotation of the bottom thigh here, reaching out in all directions. So crown of the head is going out. The tailbone is going down towards the back heel. So there's lots of little things to remember, I know. Begin to feel it. One more big inhale. Exhale. Take a big bend in the front knee. Start to come up, warrior two. Beautiful. A couple of the common things that we'll check in with is that the knee wants to come in. So we want to bring the knee out and then also think about pulling the right outer hip back into socket. Bringing the arms out. Roll the shoulder blades down and together. Reaching out through the fingertips. Bend in the front knee a little bit more. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Bring both palms to touch. Gaze up at the thumbs. Exhale, warrior two. Sink a little bit lower. Inhale, come up. Last time, exhale, warrior two. Inhale up. Exhale, let's come all the way down to lunge. Facing forward, take a big step up. Left foot meets the right. Inhale, halfway lift, finding length. Exhale, fold forward. Checking in with your breath here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, right foot. Bringing the knee to the ground. You can kind of wiggle your left foot forward a little bit as you start to straighten the front leg. Bring the blocks back, somewhere in between the hips and the knee. Bringing the heart long, flexing the front foot. Instead of folding and rounding the back down, we're sticking, imagining to tilting the pelvis. You can also just think about sticking your bum out, sending the tailbone up towards the sky. You can have a bend in the front knee as much as you'd like, pulling back on the left hip. Lots of little things. I know I give a lot of cues. If only one of them sinks in, perfect. And then the next time you'll get the other one. You know, just keep kind of coming back. One more. Good. Coming back into a lunge, bringing the blocks underneath. Picking up the right heel, pulling back on the left hip to start. Begin to twist open, left arm comes up. So again, pushing into that invisible wall with the right hand opening up the jar to the right, pulling the belly in. One more inhale here. Exhale, plant the hands. Opening up to triangle pose. Spinning the back heel down, maybe walking it in a little bit. Starting to straighten the front leg. Bringing the block up high. We'll open up towards the right. Beautiful. So let's start looking with the back foot. Pinky edge of the back foot, really solid into the ground, lifting up through the arch. We're opening up the hip, the torso through the sky, to the sky. Right arm coming up. Leaning back just a little bit, as if you're kind of leaning back on a pane of glass or on a wall. Gaze can be up towards the thumb or down if the neck is feeling tight that way. One more inhale. Start to bend in the front knee. We'll come up. Warrior two. Sink a little bit lower into the hips. So check the knee, opening the knee up. Pulling back on the left hip, sinking a little bit lower. Roll the shoulder blades back and together, reaching out through the fingertips. Really strong back leg. Don't forget about this back leg. Pull up on the kneecap, that'll help to activate. Inhale, straighten the front leg, bring the arms up, gaze up at the thumbs. Exhale, let's sink a little bit lower. So coming back into those cues, looking down at the knee, pulling back on the outer left hip. Again, inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Warrior two, make it the strongest one yet. Straightening the leg coming up, and then let's come all the way down. Facing the front of the mat. Take a big step up towards the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. And inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. And release. Let me show you eagle pose here, right quick with the block and how we can do it with the block here. Let's bring it down on the low setting. We're gonna take the left, okay, first and foremost, let's spread the right toes, lift the right kneecap, drop the toes. So we just have a broader base here. Begin to come up onto the left toes and begin to pick up the foot. We're gonna place the foot on the block right across, yeah? Start to bend in the right knee. Beautiful. Bring both of the arms out into a T. We'll bring the right arm over the left arm, cross at the elbows, bring the backs of the hands or the front of the palms together. Press everything in, the thighs in, the arms in, bring the elbows in line with the shoulders, sit low, eagle pose, pull the belly in as well. 3 rounds of breath. Squeezing the thighs together, arms together. 1 more big inhale. Exhale here. Inhale, start to unwind the arms, unwind the legs. Hands touch above. And exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Switch sides. So just place it over here to the left. Lift the left toes, spread the foot, make a wide root, wide base. Come up onto the right toes, we'll begin to step over. So just to start, it's nice just to find the footing with the right foot as well. Or sorry, the footing with the foot on the block. Then we'll begin to bend into the left knee, bring the arms out. Left arm on top, so it's opposite tops. Crossing at the elbows, sinking low, pulling belly in. And notice the difference on each side. I feel a little bit more stable on this side. Wherever you are, everything's hugging into center. Pull in at the core. 3 rounds of breath. Inhale. Exhale. In. Then release. Once more, almost there. Good, we're gonna release the hands, release the feet, reach up tall, and hands to heart center. Beautiful work. Let's go ahead and come down onto the ground. Let's take an easy seated pose. Let's take the block underneath the bum. And you can sit with the ankles crossed, or you can flip the heels up. See what's available to you. Especially those of us with tight hips, the block is gonna help so much. Roll the shoulders back. Bring the palms down on the knees. Gesture of grounding. And take a few minutes to reconnect with the breath here. Feeling any vibrations, any pulses in the body. Thank you so much for letting me be part of your practice. Thank yourself for showing up. Bring the hands together, the thumbs at the third eye. The light and the love and the teacher within me bows and sees the light, the love, and the teacher within you. Together we say, Namaste.